We are on. So, hey guys, my name is Jonathan Henderson. We're pressure washing marketing pros, and I have the honor right now of being with Dominique of Admirable Pressure Washing. What's up, man?
How's it going?
Everything's going good. This guy's always so mellow, always so mellow. So yeah, man. In today's video, we're gonna go about the growth of your business, working with pressure washing marketing pros. But before we go over that, and just the growth of your business itself, because like I said, a lot of your success is obviously, I would say 99% of that is attributed to you, man. And we'll talk about that in the video. But first off, man, give us an overview of like when you started, your team, your goals, all of that for your pressure washing business.
Okay, so as you said, I'm Admirable Pressure Washing, Pennsylvania. It's a little city called Norristown. I started, I would say, it was like early April of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So right now it's just me, and I'm trying to grow to that point where 500 grand, you know what I mean, 1 million. So I'm trying to grow this as big as I can by taking the steps necessary and take my time, not trying to rush it, but definitely I'm looking to grow into a big company, and possibly next year I should be able to hire a few people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I definitely want you to hire a few people that's going to help you out tremendously, tremendously. So when you first started your business, because you just said you started your business April, around this time, like April 2020 with that. So just about a year ago, a couple of months of change ago, right? So what was the biggest hurdle that you had? Because that was during coronavirus, man. So you started your business during coronavirus.
Right. The biggest hurdle was to consistently get leads.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that would be the biggest problem. Because sometimes it was up, sometimes it was down, and I mean the ups don't matter if you're down twice as much. So the biggest problem was to consistently get leads and to be able to manage them. So I would say that would be my biggest problem.
That was your biggest problem. So what were you doing for your marketing for your pressure washing business last year when you first started? Like what were you doing, I should say, in the first 6 months?
Shoot, I started out with Yelp. They had like a free $300, and actually what got my company rolling.
Okay.
Just unfortunately, after the free $300 up, and I paid $300 more, it was almost like nothing, no return. Um, so besides that, I was doing like the Facebook groups, the yard sales, a little bit of word of mouth. That really didn't catch on that fast. I just started.
Mhm.
Other than that, I think that pretty much was it. I mean, I was running a couple of Google, Facebook ads myself. That was a hit and miss. I really didn't understand Facebook ads. I was just kind of shooting in the dark, so it
Mhm.
wasn't too great of a return from that. I kind of was still trying to rely on Yelp, but
Mhm.
after that free $300 ran out, it was dry.
It was dry.
Yeah.
Probably- you probably went to the measures of putting out yard signs, kind of what every washing business owner does.
Yeah, so I had a few yard signs, but it took me a while before I started to get that rolling. Of course I had door hangers. It wasn't the quality of my door hangers weren't the greatest. I wasn't really targeting neighborhoods like I should, and I wasn't doing multiple touches. So it was kind of like it was working, but it wasn't. I can't really tell you what kind of return I was getting from those. So it was just I was getting customers, but it wasn't like I was saying before. My biggest problem was the consistency, and that's what I was having a hard time with.
Consistency. No, understandable, man. That's the challenges that we have with a lot of businesses. So with that being said, um, those challenges that you were having consistently being able to generate leads for your business prompted you to go ahead and reach out to us, correct? When it came to getting leads in other type of marketing companies as well, right? Where it's like, all right, then I need to make a change. And you probably hear what the usual SEO, Facebook ads,
Yep.
Google ads, all of that fun, shiny stuff that you see over the internet, right? And that stuff
Right.
does work, it definitely does work as you can attest to. So how has your business been now after you have reached out to us? Because we started working together, you know, back last year, and I want to say October, wasn't it? It was October
Yeah. Yeah.
first started working together. I got you towards the end of the season. You know what I mean?
Right.
From October to November. So how has business been like, since you started working with us in October?
Well, right away, I could see a difference. with the calls coming in. Actually, I actually had to, even with this kind of considered the end of the season, October and November. November is really when things slow down. I actually had to get a call center because it was so many calls coming in and I couldn't handle answering the calls and getting back to the customer. So starting out in like October right away, I could see, okay, calls are coming in, business is rolling, which really made me happy. And I believe November, when things really should have slowed down, those calls still were coming in. I think we weren't able to spend the price that we agreed to for the ads, but still, I remember I got my first like gas station job, which then paid for that whole month worth of ads. So I'm like, all right, I mean, that alone was enough to make me happy. So I had to hire somebody to answer the calls. And then now we come to this year. And I think I should have really turned them on in March, but we turned it on in April. And I remember right away, right off the bat, calls start picking up. So I had to call the phone company and tell them, listen, we need a bigger package because I was just blowing through my minutes. So I mean, and now it's like to the point where like there's so many leads coming in. Sometimes I'm kind of like, he needs to slow it down because it's like even with the call answering, they're sending the stuff over. I don't have to answer the call, but I start to push out those estimates.
Hmm.
So like one day I can't get to the estimate. So now I got 10 of them I got to do. While I'm trying to do them, I'm getting notifications that more coming in. So I'm like, shoot, like I'm not, do I wait till tomorrow to do these ones? No, because then I'm gonna be behind even more. And it was just one of those things where it's like, man, I wish I had somebody else to kind of help me handle this call load. But
Yeah.
it's definitely a good problem to have. So I could say that the biggest thing is that I don't have to worry about it. Like I don't have to go in there and tweak my Google ads. I don't have to call you up and say, yo, what's going on? Stuff's not working. It's kind of like things are working, you're handling it, you're
Hmm.
contacting me, keeping me updated, and then it's just one less thing I have to worry about.
Hmm. No, and I'm glad, man. We were just going over the numbers before we got on this call, and I think we calculated like what, like in these past basically essentially 2 months, man. It's been 110 leads off Google Ads, right? So
Yeah,
that's been awesome. And if we want to just knock off at least 20 of those, right, just to say they were for the game in the sense of shopping around, whatever, that's still 90 plus leads, right, in 2 months, hitting that busy season. And like I tell people, the good thing about working with you, because if you're watching this video, which I know a lot of you guys watch these type of videos because you hit us up saying, we saw so and so was able to do this or that, right? But what I want to segue into is why he's able to get these results is that he's we love working with him because he's willing to learn, he's willing to go ahead and let us do our job, but also he invests into his business. So for example, you're part of the Conquer group, right?
yeah, yep,
So so you're part of the Conquer group, you're getting mentorship, and I tell a lot of pressure washing businesses, in order for this stuff to kind of work as well, like you still do certain things. Like I know that when we shut the ads off after October, November, because I agree with that, in December, January, this position that you were at in your business, it just wouldn't have been beneficial. You know what I mean? To keep running in the way
right,
that you were. Now, when you do, because we're gonna put the good word in the air, when you do reach that, 500,000 plus, you know what I mean, a month,
yeah,
then yeah, you could run those extra 2 to 3 months, you know what I mean, at a low budget level or whatever. And whatever 10 to 15 jobs do come in that month pays for itself, right? And you're just keeping your guys busy, all of that, right? But like I said, Dom, he invests into his business. And when you invest into your business, you're able to get, the fruits of your labor when it comes to digital marketing, when it comes to all forms of your marketing. Like if you didn't answer the call center stuff, right? I'll be having this conversation with you, like, yo, man, you'd be like, Jonathan, what's going on, dude? Like, I haven't closed any of these leads that we've gotten on the phone right now, man. But the fact that you're able to go out there, perform the job, even if it's just you, right? You're still taking those steps and not just making an excuse like, I got to give out the estimates. I got to answer the call. I got to bid it. I got to do that. Like a lot of pressure washing businesses do. So that is hats off to you, man. We wouldn't be able to get you the results that we do, or how you're able to do without you, man, without you having a level head.
right. And one thing I will say too is start like it's one of those things where it is hard to say, listen, I'm going to put this much money towards Google Ads. It was hard because I came from what, I threw $300 at this, $50 at that, but it gets to a point where you got to make a decision like, do I want to grow? Do I want more leads? And that comes at a cost.
Mhm.
I don't think it ever, I mean, even if it came down to it in a month I had broke even, I can't say that I'd have been upset about it, but I don't think we ever came close to that. Um, and you said that I think it was 110, and it actually might be more than that because what happens sometimes is that the ad draws the customer to me, but then they start like searching. They might then type in my information, the website. Now they're over Facebook. They're trying to see, okay, is this a good business? Is it a legit business? Let me see what they have going on. And then they make the phone call because I don't, that's the only ads I run. And I haven't been in business long for my organic to be as big as it is. So I think some of that is from the Google ads drawing the customer in and then them kind of finding other ways to reach out to me after they do their homework.
Yeah, man, and no, and that's 110% of what it is as well. I'm glad you said that because I talk about that in previous videos too, to where it's a compounding effect on, multi-level marketing, right? And you take people and customers through journeys, which people don't know. In Google Ads, you can add location extensions, which is basically, you can attach your Google My Business to the ad so that your Google My Business shows up, as an ad in the map pack, right? And
Yeah.
like you said, some of those clicks, like we just looked at it, right? And I don't care about saying this. We got 9 clicks today, but it didn't equate to a Google ad call, right? But we don't know,
Right.
like I said, if you got another web form submission on your website or whatever it may be, because there's still people that are clicking on your ad in the map pack too, right? That might be like, you know what?
Yeah.
Click on the map pack right here. Let me see his website. Let me see his pictures. Let me see his reviews and all of that, right? And so I tell people when they ask for, like you said, when you first started working with this, you got your first like gas station, right? And people would want
Yeah.
to know, how do I get a gas?
Actually, it was two gas stations, but
Perfect.
yeah,
Perfect, right? But people ask, like, how can I get more commercial jobs? How can I get gas stations? How can I get that? And I tell people, by being visible, by simply being there when that person needs it. Like if
yeah.
you're not there, when they type into Google, like power washing company, power washing near me, and you're not showing up there, then you're losing out on a lot of money. And like you brought up too, when it came to the leads, man, because I will say this, like, even if you do spend a little bit more than like the $1,500, right? Like 1,800, 2,000, whatever it may be, right? Along with our management fee when it comes to that, you've definitely probably brought in more than, let's just say at the worst case scenario, $2,500 worth of more work in your business. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
100%.
So that's kind of what our maximum is for you, man. And where we're like, all right, then we're seeing how the seasons are changing with this. I tell a lot of business owners, and I'm gonna admit it, I'll be a first-hand admitter right here. 99% of the time, you guys don't even realize when we increase your budgets a little bit. And the reason why we do that sometimes, is because when we're getting a lot of clicks and we're seeing a lot of demand, do you want your ad to stop running? Do you want to stop getting leads?
No,
You know what I
no.
mean? You don't. So that's one of those things, man. But I'm happy. So what are some of your goals? I know you told us in the beginning, kind of like overview, but so like this year you want to like hire people and then also, like I said, um, you know, reach those levels of like 500,000 beyond and all that.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'll wait till next year. I'm just gonna fight through this season, even though I think that the amount of leads I get, I technically could hire someone,
Mhm.
but I want to squeeze that budget as much as possible and then wait till next year. Talk to my business coach, and then we'll work on next year hiring somebody because it's not all just about can I keep somebody else busy, whether that's a tech or somebody in the office. It's also about um, are you prepared to bring on another person? Is it going to be structured enough for them? Are they going to feel comfortable working at your company, feeling like they have a future? So that is definitely my goal for next year. And also, I want to increase. I do the Christmas lights, so I want to increase that. I want to build on that. And we spoke on it. I'm not. I thought about doing those Google ads for it, but it's not. It's not. I already know it's going to create a problem for me.
Yeah, I
I'm
understand.
not. I'm not situated with the Christmas side of things like I am pressure washing and those type of leads. Even half that amount, there's no way I'll be able to handle that volume. Um,
Understandable, man.
so
I understand.
yeah, so maybe next year if I have employees, then I might be able to turn on those ads for Christmas lights, but I'm busy enough with just doing the what is it and post it in the groups like the yard sale groups
Mhm.
with the Christmas stuff. That if I do ads with that,
You'll be
I
good to
think it'd hurt me more than it help me. Yeah, it'd be way too much.
no,
Uh,
understandable. And you
yeah. So
man. Go on, I'm
what do you
sorry.
say?
I said
No,
I
you good.
cut off, man. I said you bring up a good point of when you hire somebody, it's the same thing that I went through with my business. Cause I mean we have 7 employees now, all across here in America and a whole web dev team in the Philippines as well, right? And so when it comes to that, like I said, you're right. The biggest hurdle that I found when I was hiring as well, I was like, man, like I didn't have my systems and stuff in process in place, right? So when we first started 4 years ago, right, I had a lot of turnover because when people were coming in, I didn't have something that they could, study, read upon, and kind
Yeah.
of, you know what I mean? And have
Yeah.
now I have video training, I have all of that, right? So that they have questions. I'm like, hey, go back to the video library. It's on there, or I'll give them a week when we onboard them so that they can learn what our process and our system is. So you're right. Once you do it by yourself, and I tell a lot of pressure washing businesses too, and you said it too, and it's a key because since you just started last year, you're really getting the feel of what it's like to have consistent leads now, right? So you're
Yeah.
able to predict kind of what things are going to be like going into next year. So when you do hire somebody, you're like, this is how it's going to be, opposed to if you
Right.
never really invested in your marketing like that, and then you hire somebody, you're like, I don't know what this is going to be like. And then let's say you hire somebody before you hire us for the Google Ads stuff like that, right? Or like, let's say that get the Google Ads up, but you're like, you know what, Jonathan, I know you're gonna do a good job. We're gonna hire somebody. Then all of a sudden you're having to train this person, but you're like, I did not know we're gonna get this amount of leads. Now this person doesn't know what they're doing. I gotta train them. I
Yeah.
gotta estimates. I gotta do this, that, the
Right.
other, and it would have just been a crapshoot, So
Yeah. Yeah. And you definitely don't want you want that. And I would say too, like, and this is me being honest, Google Ads might not be for everyone because if you can't handle that volume of calls, whether it's answering the calls or even completing them, you will end up wasting your money. So it's one of them things where it's like if you're prepared to grow your company and take on that extra challenge, then I would say that's what you need to do. Because and one thing I can say too is that my leads, they're quality leads. I don't really get people that are just like, oh, what's the price? Okay, I'll get back to you. It's more or less, okay, what's the price? They either okay with that price or they're not okay with that price. It isn't like sometimes with Facebook, it's like, oh, I'm just checking in. I want to see what you think. It's usually when somebody goes to your ad and they're on Google and they search pressure washing, then they're ready to hire. You just gotta sell yourself.
mhm. No, you're right. Facebook ads can work. You just got to run them in the proper way, like you said.
Right.
Tell people if you want to get high quality leads on Facebook, you have to educate people. You have to be able to have them invested. They have to know who you are, and you have to constantly be, putting out and creating content. You know what I mean? So that your price point justifies it. Like I tell people, if I'm scrolling on Facebook, I'm not going on there because I'm looking for a pressure washing company. You know what? Like when do you go on Facebook and you just say I'm looking for a plumber, man? You know what I mean? I'm gonna just
Uh,
I'm just going through my news feed to go look for a plumber. You're not gonna do that, right? You go on Facebook because you're just like, whether it be pressure washing stuff, like let me see what my friends are doing, right? Or you'll be in the
yeah.
Facebook groups because we all have that. I have digital marketing groups, and that's 90%. That's 90% of the reason why I go ahead and I check Facebook. The other 10% is I'm like looking at friends, family, all that. But we
Yeah.
all have that, and we don't go on there for that specific reason. So the average person, they're gonna go on there to chat with friends and family. They're not gonna be like you said, they're gonna see your nice before and after picture of your house wash. They're gonna be like, I'm just checking in, man. I just want to see
Yeah.
what you can do for me, man. Oh, I don't like that price. It's all good, man. Because they were never looking for it in the first place. They're like, yeah,
Right.
that's too high
Right.
for me, man. But thank you, and they're off
Yep.
the races. But yeah, man. Is there anything else though that you?
Um,
That you have?
no, pretty much it, man. I'm just happy that I made that plunge. I was a little nervous about it, but now I don't even think twice about it. I mean, it is if I want to keep running this business and growing, I mean that's just the cost, and I'm making my money back. So I mean, how can you really be upset with that?
Mm-hmm. No, understandable, man. We always going to be making you money back, man, when it comes to that. But like I said, thank you so much, man, for taking your time out. Hopefully, like, well, not hopefully, I know you guys got some education and some gems from this video. And like I said, my name is Jonathan. You know, this is Dominique with Admirable Pressure Washing, and we are off.